Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good morning. My name is Aula Juanda Witri. I'm from class Big B, the 6th semester of English Education Study Program in IAIN Palopo. Today I would like to explain about my article, and the title of my article is about an error analysis of using article in writing analytical exposition text to the second grade a grade student of junior high school number 1 Palopo. The first is about introduction. English has become the first foreign language to be taught in education institution or school in Indonesia. It is learned by students since they are in kindergarten to senior high school, even in the college. In elementary school level to junior high school level, English has become a compulsory subject to be taught to students. The aims of a language teaching course are very often defined with reference to the four language skills: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. One of the language skills which taught in school is writing skill. Writing can have cognitive function in clarifying and supporting talk. In writing, learners can express their thoughts, idea, or feeling. There are some people who say that writing is difficult. One of the reasons is writing needs a special skill to string words to be understood by the readers. In the process of teaching and learning English, writing ability is the most difficult and complicated language skill to be learned almost by the student in every level of education. English texts are divided into 8 types. They are narrative recount, report, review, historical recount, procedural recount, analytical exposition, and discussion. Analytical exposition text is the text that elaborates the writer's idea about the phenomenon surrounding. Its social function is to persuade the reader that the idea is an important problem and to analyze the topic that the opinion or the thesis is correct by developing an argument to support it. To better understanding the learner's problem in composing sentence, error analysis or AA become a preferred tool of second or foreign language analysis. Error analysis is one of the best tools of linguistic studies that concentrate on the learner's errors. Error analysis tool compare the error made by learners in the target language and within the target language itself. According to the explanation book, it is important by the teacher to give error analysis in student writing. Error analysis is an activity to identify, classify, and interpret to describe the errors made by someone in speaking or in writing, and is carried out to obtain information on common difficulties faced by someone in speaking or in writing English. The researcher focused in error analysis and analytical exposition in using article under the title An Error Analysis of Using Article in Writing Analytical Exposition text to the second grade student of junior high school number 1 Palopo. Next, literature review. First, writing analytical exposition. Christian states writing is the representation of a set of signs or symbols. It is distinguished from illustration, such as cave drawing and painting, and non-symbolic preservation. Writing most likely began as a consequence of political expansion in ancient cultures, which needed reliable means for transmitting information, maintaining financial accounts, keeping historical records, and similar activities. An analytical exposition is a type of spoken or written text that is intended to persuade the learners or readers that something is the case. To make the persuasion stronger, the speaker or writer gives some argument as the fundamental reason why something is in the case. Analytical exposition is an expository composition which develops a topic by distinguishing its components and discussing each in turn. It is used for analyzing or explaining questions of how and why something works. The second is about error analysis. The definition of error analysis. Error analysis is an essential source of information to teachers. It provides information on students' errors, which in turn helps teachers to correct students' errors and also improves the effectiveness of their teaching. The study of errors by themselves will have been misleading, but in contrast to the number of correct responses gives a good picture of which items are being mastered and which are not. This study helps to enlighten teachers on the grammatical errors. There are many definitions of error analysis proposed by famous linguist Brown in his book entitled Principles of Language Teaching and Learning. Writes that learner does make errors, and these errors can be observed, analyzed, and classified, reveal something of the system operating within the learner, led to search of the study of the learner's error called error analysis. According to Gus and Selinker, a comparison can be made between the errors a learner makes and the learner's target language, and this can lead to two types of error: interlingual and intralingual. Intralingual errors are the result of the influence of the native language, while interlingual errors involve the language being learned and are independent of the NL or native language. The third is about English article. English articles function as determinants in a sentence. They are classified as quantifiers because they serve to quantitatively delimit the number or amount of identity mentioned. Learners have to apply the correct article while creating a sentence by considering the semantic, grammatic, and grammatical features of a noun phrase. Next is about research method. In this research, the researcher used qualitative approach to analyze the data. Since the researcher present identification of error type, percentage of error type, and the factor influence the errors data in descriptive statistics and interpretation. The purpose of content analysis in education research is to analyze type of error in student writing by looking at students' written products to classify spelling or grammatical error and their nature and frequency. The data in this research were obtained from the students of Junior High School No. 1 Palopo in the form of writing product of analytical exposition text and questionnaire. The school was located at Andi Pangeran Street No. 2 Luminda, Wara Utara, Kota Palopo. The research had been conducted on March 20, 2012 up to May 2012. The other data was the factor influenced the error. The search was the student of 8th grade. The question in this questionnaire consists of questions related to search efforts, intralingual context of learning and communication strategies. To conclude a research, it needs a correct data on students' writing skill. We move to the next finding and discussion. Finding: there was found 38 errors of 7 kinds of article usage from 18 kinds. The 18 kinds of article use were adapted from Finn's and Sunderland's theory and Lynch's theory by combining them. Those errors are defined article in title, defined article geographical names, defined article importance of text, defined article jobs, defined article unknown people or thing, defined article non-modified by an object, and zero article names. The 7 kinds of article use that then classify into omission, addition, and confusion. The percentage of omission is 13.158%. The percentage of addition is 63.158%, and the percentage of confusion is 23.684%. The next is discussion. Based on in the context of learning factor, it was 166 score from the 3 questions. After dividing with 3 as in the number of questions, it was got 50, 33, 55, 30 score. It means context of learning has a contribution in influencing the errors, although the effect is not too much. The research result support the research result of Abu Saidi, who found that the errors mostly result from context of learning. Generally, student has difficulty in applying grammar and word choice. The other findings shows that the students did not only use article before nouns or noun phrase, but also in other parts of speech, like in front of verb. The different structure and term between English and native language induce the errors. The last is about conclusion and suggestion. Based on the research finding, the errors of using article in writing analytical exposition text made by 8th grade student of junior high school number 1 Palopo can be concluded. 1. There are 38 errors in the use of article from 7 kinds of 18 article use which are used by students in making error of using article in writing analytical exposition text. The second is additional is the most frequent type of error made by students, which has the higher percentage. It can be seen from the result of 2 other types. The third, interlingual factor had contribution influencing the error in using article by 57 score, even though its influence is not too strong. The fourth, the other findings found some students made error by using article before 2 kinds of words such as adjective and verb. These findings indicate that the students had difficulty in using article. The 5. There are also weaknesses in this research. There was not enough category of article use which can all cover all of student errors. Another weakness is the use of questionnaire in this research, which with use cause questions might affect the findings invalid since the student only answer question given by these researchers. Dealing with the conclusion, the researchers recommend some suggestions for student, English teacher, and for other researchers. For the students, it is important for the student to learn the use of article to produce good writing. Students should learn each role of the article system and avoid overgeneralization in order to make the reader grasp with what the writers mean. For English teacher, the enhance students' ability in writing. The writers suggest the English teacher to involve the article system in their teaching and learning process, even though there is no discussion about article in syllabus. Next is for other researchers. It has been confirmed in conclusion that this research has become weakness. Thus, it is suggested for other research to do similar research by using more complete article usage categories and more instruments like interview or daily journal to students. The conclusion and suggestion above are hope useful to enhance the students' ability in writing text, especially analytical exposition text with a good grammar. I think that's all about my explanation today. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.